Hello everyone, it's me, Aiden. Completely different side note here. Before the video starts, I got two things. One, this is a long ass video, my longest one yet, but it is worth it, so please stay and watch. I will try and bring timestamps in for certain parts of the video if you'd rather watch other parts compared to others. And two, while making this video, we hit 100 subscribers, so woo! It's pretty dope. I didn't have exactly anything planned for 100, so I didn't really mind it all too much. But maybe 200, we'll see. But that's all I wanted to say. Buckle your seatbelts, get ready. It's a fun one. It's a long one, but it's a fun one. And I'll see you guys there. Bye. Hello everyone, my name is Aiden and welcome back to the town of Tiffin. In today's episode, we'll be working on upgrading and expanding the roads in the main route to Tiffin to further expand the town, giving us more areas to build parks, neighborhoods, schools, and a secondary town outside of Tiffin. For this video though, we'll be breaking it down into two sections. In this first section, we will be expanding the existing Route 65 to a 2-lane, 2-way freeway, making it half interstate. It'll break some interstate laws, but that never stopped I-80 in Cheyenne, Wyoming from breaking the laws. Some factors to become considered an interstate are no traffic lights, no left turns, meeting points with other roads must have an interchange, so basically no intersections, and must have a median. We will also be remodeling the existing bridge that spans the Decker River, fixing up existing intersections, and making it more accessible to the highway by adding interchanges for ease of access to existing roads. This first section will be done in Skit format to make a more, in quotes, realistic build for this highway. And without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy this skit. All right, and here we are in phase 3. I decided to do phase 3 in like a live play setting to show the build and to explain my process of what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it. Show you the design, or not show you the design, but like how I build it and what I detail. But So if you don't remember what phase 3 was, as I explained in the beginning of the video, phase 3 will be basically rerouting Route 44 to turn it into an intersection so that connects up to here, and having Route 65 continue, or having traffic that goes northbound, traveling northbound, continue going, so it doesn't have to like stop or continue straight through here. So it just makes it really simple for traffic to go this way. And there will be another way. We'll get there when we get there, but for traffic to continue onto Route 44, I'm either not sure if I should just keep a lane going this way and connect it up to here, because if I'm going to reroute it this way, it's going to be a little bit difficult. So I can have traffic turning left going back that way, or I could just have a lane. Well, we'll see how it goes, but for right now, our first step is to demolish everything. Completely just go ham, drag it out, and yeah, I know one person that's gonna get pretty pissed off at all the trees I'm gonna delete, but it'll come back. I just have to make a nice little play area for the build. I don't know if I'm gonna use all of this land here, but okay. Can I just find the right button, please? Thank you. Just to erase a couple more bits. Over here. So what we're gonna do is the first thing is to reroute it so that it continues straight forward. We'll add the connections back. There we go. And I just like that or so, and then we'll make it go straight on. I think is how we're gonna do it. Or we'll go. Well, yeah, we'll go back another and make the turning radius a little bit larger so we can have. So it doesn't look all sloppy when we want to make it go straight. And it off there. There we go. So now traffic can going northbound. I believe this. We'll double check. Going. Oh, I guess I should probably know my road names before I start redesigning them and talking about them. Anyway, yeah, east-west. So going north and south here. Yeah. I'm getting it now. I'm getting it. Anyway, we will reroute R44 to take it up this way. Go one more back and give it a slight turn to let it go straight into a T-junction right along here. And then we'll do a continuous, well, somewhat continuous flow. I don't know what's going on here. That's a little bit awkward. Oh, it's the node that was stuck. So we will redo that up. So now we know where that's going to be. We can just grab one of these. And there we go. Make the turn just a little bit more prettier. We'll widen this out. Give it a little bit extra space. Adding the turning lanes. And I wish it was like a 5x2, so you know I don't have to do 3x3 each time. But this is the best we got. We're gonna do a traffic light here to split the node in half, or to split the median in half. Adding in turning lanes for R44. Finding. So my plan here, the plan for this, is to have traffic turning left, going east, to be able to make their left and take it down into their own lane. So I'll show you here again. They'll have their own lane, and then traffic going west, wanting to turn right onto R44, will have its own lane as well, so they won't conflict with one another. And traffic wanting to go left will just use this single lane here and make the left into their own lane, so that traffic going eastbound can continue straight on without stopping or yielding to traffic turning left from R44. I know it's a lot to take in and a lot to kind of like understand, but once I kind of do the lines out, I'll explain as I go. For traffic wanting to turn right out of R44, we're going to do a continuous right turn into turn it into a junction here, so that traffic can actually get, so that right turning traffic can get its own lane and continue onward without having to come to a stop at the light and then make their right turn. They could just continue onward. So we'll add that there. So getting one of these lanes. Make sure no snapping. That should work. Kind of round the bend a little bit there and connect it right on. It's going to look ugly at first, of course, but then with a little bit of node controller, we can make it look just that slight bit prettier. There we go. Thank you, node controller, for everything that you do. Give it its own right turning traffic, its own separate lane. And make sure it stays like that. And then they have to pretty much immediately exit back over. Make sure I do that and make another line that way too. And then we'll add the yellow lines as well through here. It only does it sometimes. I'm not sure why, but we'll add the yellow lines, or I'll add the yellow lines off camera, so you don't have to go see me do every little bit. Stretch it out just a tiny bit more. And so for here, yeah, see, like I did the yellow here, but it doesn't do the yellow over here. I don't know what the point of that is. So moving on, we will do a little bit of lane math and make sure that this can only turn left. So they only turn left. That lane turns right. This lane turns left. These guys continue straight. Is it making any sense now? Is it doing its job? And then for this lane here, I think I might just add stripes so that people know to not use this lane, because I mean there really isn't a point, because we just use this lane for right turn only traffic to make it flow as easy as possible, so that we don't have to worry about traffic or forward moving traffic going through and then having to immediately merge back. So if I could have this lane, if they want to, pop back over here, but then there's no point because they just come back over. I see people do that in real life, so if we want to make it like that kind of realistic, but I think for here, I think I might just add chevrons or stripes to signify that this lane is not usable. We'll add some lane markings. Yeah, we'll add some lane markings. Bam. Bam. And then I'll do the rest of the detailing off camera. You guys get the main gist here, and then I can kind of do the rest of it in my own time. So for this, we'll probably just continue that line. Make sure it's not usable. No, I think that's fine there. And then we'll go this there, this there. Do that there. Do that up there. Having dotted lines, dashed lines for crossing traffic. And then there we go. So I think that's about the gist of it for this intersection here. We'll go down here and I'll fix this up for you guys while I'm still here. Node controller, say no to lines. And then we'll do a double dashed yellow. Or a double solid yellow. Dash line. This there. That there. Signify that the lane ends. And then we'll probably... Not sure what we'll do there. Probably just keep it like that. We will do this though. So we got that going. We got that going. I think this is a parking street in the game's perspective. So we will make sure to tell the people no parking. Yep, that's what I thought. No parking. Thank you. I don't understand why traffic lights do this, because it wants to think that there's a four-way stop, but it really isn't, so that this light right here serves no purpose. But there is only one function for this light, and it's just to make sure that traffic turns left. So we'll add a couple more lines here. Traffic gets to stay turning left, while I guess one little thing, that traffic going east has to merge back over and down. Doesn't make that big, isn't that much of an issue, but it is something that kind of it does annoy me, but it'll fix itself, it'll work itself out. And I think that's about everything there. We'll add to make sure that this lane, people know that this lane does end. We'll add some detail, or not detail work, other markings such as, or signs that say the left lane must turn left at the intersection. But we'll have to fix what's going on here. Fix that up. Weird sloping. So I think that'll do it. I will show you guys the finished product when I return. All right, and here we have it, the finished product. I think this looks amazing. I love the way it turned out, and I was actually able to get traffic traveling eastbound to continue forward without stopping using time traffic lights. The process that I used with the time traffic lights, I'll show a little bit of how I did it, is I just made sure that this light always stayed on. So here, we'll pause it for a second and stop this. So I did a 10 to 20 to make sure that, since this is a priority light, traffic traveling east to west stays or has more of a consistent flow. So I left that as minimum of 10 seconds, maximum of 20. And then we went to a 1-to-1, which is basically just like a filler light to make sure that traffic can get through the light without clipping with other cars that may end up going into on the next phase. So that's like a little buffer in between. So then we go to a 5 to 10, which allows traffic to turn left out of eastbound to travel north. That's a pretty short light, because considering there's not a lot of buildup that happens here. Another buffer, and then we allow traffic going north to take their eastbound exit, or to take their eastbound left. It's pretty simple. Pretty good light, so it works out pretty well. And then I added every bit of detail I could possibly think of. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't really mind. I think it looks amazing just the way it is. I probably could have added more signs in this intersection here, but I think it looks fine just the way it is. I added little markers for so that people know that they're turning, or that lane goes into a turn. I added do not enter signs just in case people think that they can like turn right over into there, which they can't. A yield sign, a merging sign, some guardrails. I probably could add some like bushes or something in this little plot right there. Added some road markings, some right arrows, some left arrows. Some more of these bad boys, and then as we go further down this way, you want traffic to start to slow down, since they're coming up on, for going like 60 miles an hour, almost to a full stop if they want to make a left. Down here is a left lane must turn left, and a warning that there is a traffic light up around the corner. I guess one sign that I could add now that I've added trees is a hidden intersection, or a hidden light. So if I go into here, you can see me just add this one. Hidden intersection. Add that like right there or something. Because not many people, I mean, you're coming up around going 50 miles an hour around a corner, and then you come up upon a light or traffic. So you want to be very careful of that. But I added a guardrail in between here, and already traffic is flowing so much better. Going it looks so good already. It isn't getting backed up trying to go north. People are using the highway to their advantage. Hi, present Aiden here. We're gonna stop for a second because I may have went a little bit too far in recording this live play, because I didn't exactly bring in phase 4 just yet. But what you're seeing here, where like the highway kind of diverges underneath the railroad and then continues on the bridge, that is basically all of phase 4. I'm deciding not to add it in, mainly because the little skit, I guess, if you still want to call it that, there might be a better word for it. I'm still thinking of one. A little skit that I was going to add for this was just too short, and I couldn't exactly figure out a way to fit it in. So what you're seeing here is just phase 4, and then the rest, like phase 5 and the rest of the road infrastructure changes, will all be done in a live play. But I just wanted to say that real quick, make sure all of you guys were not confused, like, oh, what is this, where did this come from? Yeah, so I'll see you guys in the time lapse. Hello everyone, and welcome into the time lapse of today's episode. I first want to preface, before we go into the entire build of the brand new Tiffin freeway, when I mentioned phases throughout the video, like when I said, oh, phase 1 complete, phase 2 complete, I never actually told you guys what the whole thing with the phases were. I have it all like written out in this Google Doc here, that for each phase is something different. I think I may have touched on that in the intro, but yeah, I kind of want to say before we go into the rest of it. Phase 1 is like widening the Route 65 and adding more lanes to it. Phase 2, opening up the intersection at R44, that diamond interchange that you saw me build in the skit. Phase 3 was rerouting and redesigning the southern intersection of Route 65, which was the live play that I did. And Phase 4 was kind of a part of Phase 3 or Phase 2. They all kind of, phase into one another, and I didn't do it in like a skit on that, mainly because I sort of rushed myself into the live play. I know I touched on that a little bit more earlier. And then Phase 5 is basically everything past this point. Everything past this point is going to be all in Phase 5, and I'm going to be detailing it. Some of the stuff you see here is going to be temporary, while others are going to be stuck into place and just expanding throughout past this highway and everything else around it. I kind of wanted to clarify that before we get into me talking about what's going on in the build. So what you just saw me do there, I was basically just lining the highway up, knowing where I wanted it to be, and then I raised it up so it wasn't an intersection, because at last minute I decided to turn it into an interchange, which we'll get to that later on. But first off here, I'm going to upgrade Route 43 into a bigger avenue, and then adding in the on and off ramps. I need to upgrade the Route 43 mainly because, there isn't any way I'm going to be able to have as much traffic as what's going through now, and then just have the on ramps and off ramps intersect at a two-way, one-lane freeway, or main route, whatever you want to call it. That just wasn't gonna happen. But right here, I'm doing the same tactic as what I was using when I was building the other intersection at Route 65, and I think it was 44, I believe. I was at 44 where I used a 3-and-3 highway, and then kind of use intersection marking tool and node controller to fix it up into the way I would like to. You can see like adding the the orange markings. Really just not knowing how to talk right now. And if I do sound a little bit different than what I usually do, I'm a little bit congested right now. Allergies are not my friends right now. So I sound not my normal voice. Here we are doing the tactic that I was talking about, where I use intersection marking tool as a way to signify that that lane is not in use. And honestly, I think it's a tactic I want to use more often in not just in this city, but just in different roads. Here we're doing the other side too. This side was a lot easier since both of the the on-ramp and the off-ramp both intersected at the same node. So I didn't really have to worry about having to do too much with the node controller, do too much with the intersection marking tool to fix up that entire point there. So it's just a very simple 2 lines diverging and adding in a chevron. We're back. We're still on that same side over here, using lane math, making sure nobody crosses with the lines. And then of course the game doesn't know what to do, the coding doesn't know what to do when it comes to a lane like this, so I have to actually manually do it. I'm still using the intersection marking tool, making myself a little bit confused on how I wanted to go about making this one. And then we just settled for some stripes on the curb there, and then turn it into a chevron. I think, make it even first, of course. Everything's got to look pretty. One thing I could have done here is actually just not had to worry about the half circle at the point closest, like what we're looking at right now. I didn't really have to worry about that all too much. I honestly could have just connected it up without having to worry about it, but I did it anyway. It's gone now. So just warrant. Choked my own air there. I'm good. So put in a little bit more of these this intersection work. I love intersection marking tool so much. I don't know if you can tell by now, but I use it with almost every single intersection or segment that I get to. And sometimes I overdo it and I have to limit myself because I'm like, would they really have markings here? Like, realistically, would they? Like, I know I would, but most other towns wouldn't, because they either just get lazy or funds, maybe. I don't know. It's just paint. I'm not exactly sure what paint, but this on-ramp here was very tedious to work with. It was very annoying. And as I was working with it, after I was done working with it, I was like, maybe I could have pushed it just a couple more feet and I didn't have to worry about all the weird sloping. But I said, whatever. It looks okay with how it is now. Maybe I'll go back to it later on and fix it up. Because I know I'm probably going to get way too annoyed with it eventually and just be like, okay, this isn't even. I need to fix this. So I'll probably go back to that in a separate episode, or I'll do it in my off time. We'll see. But here we are using some more lane math with TMPE. Oh, and then this right here. This all gets changed later, or majority of it. But I wanted to keep this in because this is another example of breaking a interstate law, where I added an intersection right after. Not only does this get really bad, but it's just so it just breaks the rules of it. I added it right after an on and off ramp because, I mean, that's probably what, maybe 1,000 feet or so away from that previous or the other node over there, which already is going to cause a ton of problems. So my first idea was having a traffic light here and just leaving it at that, and I did for a while, and over time I thought, this isn't working like at all. I knew it was going to be temporary from the start, but I just left with it because I'm like, I'll fix it another time. I know I will. I just have to figure out the best way on how to, because I ran into a couple different problems where did I want to connect this up to the highway? Did I want to make another on ramp? Do I only make one side have an on and off ramp, or do I just not connect it up to the freeway at all? And you'll see later on that I decide not to connect it up to the freeway like at all. No on ramps, none of that. But you'll see that sooner or later. But I keep this in right here because I wanted to show you where I originally started, like my original idea. I like to keep those in there, as you knew from the nuclear power plant episode, where I keep my original ideas in, show you how I started out, and then how I fix it. But yeah, this is how I started out, going ham with intersection marking tool again. But I have seen, when it comes to bigger intersections like these, that they do tend to overdo the amount that you need to, or almost overdo the amount of markings for these kind of intersections. So because I know that people, realistically speaking, people would get confused. I mean, if they came up on an intersection with a light and on an interstate, they would get confused. So they would need a ton of different lines, and the easiest way to tell what lines go where. So you can see over to the left, I added a little space between traffic going east and traffic wanting to turn right. I added that little one over there. I did the same thing off to the right as well, so right and left sides. And then I add in the road decals, the lane decals. I do that over on both sides over here. Here's another on the other side. I add in these left turn decals, just for the time being. Of course, gonna change because I did not like this right here. This looks stupid. There is no way that traffic going onto the off ramp and then wants to make a left turn is going to be able to make that in time, because you're coming right on, and then they have to cross over 2 lanes of traffic while traffic going east is already like in the way. It was all temporary, and I hate it now, and I'm glad that I got rid of it. But enough of that. We're going to go into the other part of phase 5 here, where I expand the I expand out the roads into further into uptown. Jesus, like stuttering. I love doing it, man. Love doing it. So we add this turn lane for this little neighborhood off to the right over here. Give them their own separate right turn lane, because I'm nice. I can be nice to some of my residents. And lucky for me here, somewhat lucky for Main Street, I was able to use node controller at the very beginning and widen it out to 150%. So it was already large enough to be expanded to add another lane onto it. But this right here, this was annoying, but I was able to fix it. I wanted a center median lane for this road here, but I had to fix all these houses that were lined across it. I didn't want to show you guys any of that, so I just cut it all out. So, but yeah, all I had to do was just move the houses back a couple units. Adding more of those lines, and I do it over to the other side as well. and I have to kind of move the houses, kind of move the elementary school a little bit as well. But yeah, this is what I was talking about. Notice how when I went to upgrade the roads, nothing changed. It's because they were the exact same size. But if I want to explain it again, which I don't think I will. I mean, it's a old town main street. They usually don't go past 3 lanes, 3 total lanes. So I think that's gonna be enough. Maybe I'll just get rid of a double turning lane median and turn it into just a regular turning lane. Oh yeah, right here, this is the Patterson's homes. I kind of have to invade on their property a little bit, just a little bit. Move the houses, move the trees so they're not on the sidewalk anymore. And then for this, I thought this was a pretty interesting thing that I could do. I actually moved the node itself so I didn't have to completely screw up this dude's house sitting on the right, because I already knew that if I were to just leave it as is, I would have to completely move the house and destroy the garage, and I'm like, I'm not having that. So I just moved the other houses back and use the and just move the trees over as well. And over with another awkward transition. This is the we're still on the main route here. It's just that we're out of town now, and we're crossing the river. This isn't the Decker River. That was the other one. That was the one that the highway crossed. The 43 crossed this one. And now we're on the other side of town. So I did the inside of town first, and now we jumped to the right of town, going, what would that be? That would be, I think, south. We went south, and now we're on the north side of town, where I added a bridge over top of the railway here. So traffic didn't have to stop at the railway and have to wait for the train to go by. Just make it easier to make a bridge over top of it. And honestly, I like the bridge even more, just for looks in and of itself. There are still some roads that cross over this set of train tracks. Further you go into the neighborhood area and the industrial side. I have yet to make a full video on the industrial bit of Tiffin, but it will come. It's just that I want to make sure that it is perfect, and I have every bit of detail that I can. I've gotten one bit done. I've gotten one bit of industry done. And it's closer to the inside of town instead of the outside, closer to the nuclear power plant, because I know I want to have a lot of industry off that way. A giant rail hub, giant cargo hub over off that way for all the trains to kind of leave their cargo off and then have it be picked up by other trains. The whole spiel. So moving on to a little bit more on expanding we're trying to make traffic flow a little bit more into the 2 and 2 up near the interchange here, having 43 kind of diverge into 3 lanes and then merge into a 2 and 2. And then that's only for traffic going north. No, that would be, jeez. I need to have a map next to me at all times showing me which direction I am looking at, because it never helps. Or that would help, but just looking at the screen and then having to guess, it doesn't help. Does not help. But I am going to stop talking here because we are coming up onto a live play of something I previously mentioned. I'm gonna expand out this lane here, and just in about a minute here, we're gonna go into another live play, and I'll see you guys there. All right, and here I am back again. So remember a little bit back to in the earlier part of the episode where I said that this part right here was going to be temporary. Well, this part we're gonna be fixing this up because since this is technically an interstate, I guess if you want to call it that in quotes, it shouldn't have an interchange on it. But I just wanted to keep it there as like a temporary bit. Because I know some highways have an interchange on, or not interchange, an intersection on them. Um, but it just doesn't work well here because I can see at points that traffic from here gets really tied up, and then since this is supposed to be like a continuous flowing, it gets so backed up. Um, Especially when people want to like get onto here and then or people want to get it just the cross merging doesn't work right. So yeah, we're just going to say bye and bye. Um, and before we get to the connection here, we're just going to fix this up. Slope that 20 meters or so apart. Okay, well, change the direction. There we go. I don't want that many of them. And then definitely not that. Make this 28, 38 maybe. Yeah, I like that. We'll do 38 for that one. And then, we'll add an extra one right down here. We'll get only. Someone that says only up here. There we go. We'll set that down into here. Right lane must exit. Or add another one up here. I think we might add one back a further bit as well. Come on. Okay, that looks good there. And we'll add one further back. So that looks good there. Okay. Let's see here. Anything else I need to do? I'll make sure to add actual words to this later once I figure out what's the best way to write them, I guess. Okay, so now it's time for Richardson Street. We are going to first flatten it out, put it all to one level. Take the other side. Also do that. Maybe I don't want that there. I want this to go underneath. So, oh shoot, huh? That will not do it. Could I slope? I don't really want to slope that up even more. I might just take it down a couple notches. Sloped. I've come up with an idea. I'm not sure if I should keep this road going and then have it. It will make a left, but do I want it to keep going this direction and lead for more expansion? I think that's what yeah. Actually, that's exactly what I'll do. I'll take this road out just a couple more feet here. More units. Add, since this will be a priority road, I know City Skylines won't do that for me, but we'll try our best to make it such. We will do that. Maybe. Yeah, we'll do this instead. Cool. Add a right turn lane. Add a left turn lane. It's a little bit an awkward slope, so I think what we'll do here is we'll bring down these two nodes to kind of level it out a tiny bit. And then take this, slope it, give it a little bit, yeah, give it a little bit of curve there. Same goes for this node here. I think we'll kind of either slope it or twist it. Yeah, we'll slope it or twist it about 2 degrees. so that kind of gives a little bit of a little bit more curve. The offset will give it a little bit more as well. And what I'll do here is we'll turn off prop anarchy or tree anarchy, and just make sure that no trees are in the way of either one of these roads. And make sure that they know that this lane is only a turn right. Do I need to add anything else to that? What I do need to do is add a node here and add a node. No, that's it. Oop, there we go. Good. And bring that just a little bit closer. And same with this here. And then this also here. Is this... No, that's a single node right down there. Oh, and then the other one. That's perfect. So we'll just... Easy as that. But then for this one here, we got to do the same thing we did on the other side. And I think what I'm going to do instead, this might make the terrain a little bit wonky. But instead of making this an entire tunnel, I'm going to make like a little custom tunnel where I use walls. I forget what the walls are called. Might just be these. I think it's just these. Yeah. I use these. Turn back on control the prop anarchy. And this might do it. I might have to turn them into maybe? Yeah, I have to turn them into procedural objects. And then nope. Bring them down to the ground a little bit more. Okay. Copy that, paste it to the other side. Do a little bit of a shimmy on it. So it's a little bit more even with the road. And then possibly add a wall right here. Or, you know, I could just edit position and then widen it out. I think that works right now. I don't know how much I widened it out by, but that makes the graffiti a little bit whopper jawed. But I think it still should be fine. We'll add a wall here just to get rid of the weird dirt patches that are along the side here. Yeah, we'll see what to do there. But I think what I want to do next is go underneath here, and then kind of a little bit of detail work. See me doing this. Double yellow. Cross it down. Cross down. I think that should do it. I think most traffic should know to... Yeah. Yeah, that looks good there. Okay. I'm not too shabby. All right, so we added in the walls. It's the best I got right now. Added in the wall here. We also added in the barriers. Also the best I can do right now. I don't really have a proppable or proppable steel barrier, so I couldn't use that on the wall. So I just used a concrete barrier to act as a wall. And then this sort of matches the center as well, so it works. And did the same thing over here. So I mean that works. I'll just have like traffic kind of continue for... There we go. I want to make sure... 1 second here. Yeah, all right, so I think a step in a different or a step later on that we could take is being able to connect this up a little bit more efficiently to Main Street over here. Because right now you got to go all the way down here. You got to make an awkward left and then a right and then a left and then a left into here. It just doesn't work out. So um, I think I might just do that off camera, just making a little bit more of a priority street, like a traffic light there and maybe a traffic light there. I don't know. I don't really want a traffic light here. I might just prioritize traffic to take over this lane here, upgrade this set of traffic, or upgrade this road here. Huh. Well, apologies for the awkward cutoff. Not exactly sure what happened there. Um, but this is the end of the episode. Really weird transition, but we're gonna work with it. We're gonna figure this out. But I really hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I had a ton of fun making it, even though it did take a lot of time and a lot of help from my good friend Procrastination. Can we give a round of applause for the man himself, Procrastination? Man, he helped me a lot. Okay, and end of that bit. But yes, I really hope you guys enjoyed. We'll get to a whole like story aspect for this as well. I'm still writing the script out for that. We'll have to wait for a story time for Tiffin. Tiffin story time eventually. But I mean, with that being said, I'm gonna leave you guys off with some cinematics here. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Comment any ideas that you have for the next episode or any sort of fictional stories you got going on. Anything you want to throw at me, I'm all ears. But I'll see you guys around. Bye bye.